What's going on, guys? This is Tom with Stocked Up. The market was crazy today. We could see the market opened up green and the S&P 500 actually hit all-time highs, or the SPY did anyways, and then it actually tanked in the middle of the day whenever, the Federal Reserve actually met, and they ended up having some new they discussed some new guidance going forward. And really this is going to be crazy because really the S&P 500 and the Dow both ended up tanking, at the end of the day. So did even the QQQ, which is the Nasdaq. And really the Nasdaq is really what's been keeping the markets up, and really it's crazy to see it start to fall right now. But with that being said, I'd really like to thank you guys for all the continued support. All those guys who get down in the comments just for the YouTube algorithm, or the people who just give us likes. We really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. We might even answer them in the next video. But really, we're getting close to 25,000 subscribers, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. So, I'd really like to just, thank you guys for all the support and all the continued appreciation on the videos. And as you guys can probably tell, Mike is not going to be in tonight's video. He's actually going through a move right now. So, good luck to Mike getting down to where he's going safely. And, I really hope everything goes well for him. But really, let's just get right into the video. Really, the big news right now is going to be Nvidia earnings, Nvidia earnings. These really tanked in after hours, guys. We really expected Nvidia to have good earnings, and me and Mike talked about this yesterday. And I said, it's going to be a flip of a coin. It's going to be a 50-50, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. And really, I said that I thought they were going to have good earnings, but then a bad outlook that would make them go down. And it seems like that's honestly what happened. They had decent earnings, $2.18 per share. That's not bad, but really it looks like they're just having they're really bleeding off in after hours hard. It looks like they're about to break 475 to the downside, which is just, a crazy play going down. I mean, if we do break 475 to the downside tomorrow, who knows? Nvidia puts might be the way to go, but really that options pricing is going to be crazy tomorrow morning at open. So, I might give it a couple days before I touched Nvidia, but it was just crazy to see, Nvidia earnings do this. And then, we did see Target have earnings yesterday, and Target, for example, had great earnings, and Target popped, really high today, and they formed this nice wedge at the top, and they're really trading above it. So really Target is looking at, for a good play, and, this will be a momentum play later too. But really, getting into the main news of the day, the Federal Reserve, actually released, minutes on Wednesday of its July 28th, 29 meeting. And, they expressed concerns about the coronavirus continuing to impact the economy. And, they said that they're going to keep the short-term interest rates around zero. And really, committee members expressed skepticism over using bond purchases to control the government bond yield curve. And really, that's just a really bad negative comment about, controlling the yield curve. If we don't keep controlling the yield curve, that could be very negative for the market. Really, TLT has been moving kind of, strangely with the market lately. Like we could see the market tank today, and TLT also tanked, which is showing that, bonds are really have went down anyways. And really, SPY being down today, so significantly off this news, that's very significant for the market. And I think that, what the Fed said today is going to really impact the market for the next couple of days, especially at least until Monday. Hopefully we can get some good news over the weekend or something. But this is just some crazy guidance going forward. And really, using specific targets on inflation and unemployment, before raising interest rates can just be a bad, that can be a bad outcome. And yeah, there's just tons of articles and tons of, bad negativity about what the Fed actually came out and said today. And we can even see that breaking news at the top of CNBC says stock futures tick lower after the Fed highlights economic uncertainty. But, even though this happened, there was some history made today. Apple actually became the first $2 trillion company. They finally reached a $2 trillion, market cap valuation, which is crazy to see on Apple shares. And really, AAPL has just been a good stock. It was good today. It did bleed off at the end of the day, but it looks like they're holding the 100 SMA. And Apple just had some great news. I don't know if Apple's going to go up off of this news or not necessarily, but it's just one of those things that, whenever Apple does get a $2 trillion valuation, that's just awesome to hear. They've just been a crazy company, just shooting upwards over the years. They've done some splits similar to what they're doing, in the past. And whenever they've done those splits, let me go back to a max 1 day chart here, and we can go back to like 2014. and see that they actually did this split before, 7-to-1 split, and they did split even before that. So I mean, Apple has done multiple splits before, and I mean, really, it's not really a surprise to see these tech stocks that, whenever you see a vertical pattern as steep as Apple, I mean, you just have to expect these stocks that they are going to split eventually. I mean, they're not just going to run up, to $10,000 a share like Tesla hit, almost $2,000. Tesla was another crazy move today. They just wouldn't stop today. I mean, crazy moves on Tesla over the past few days. I mean, they were kind of flat today, but really, I mean, they held their ground compared to the S&P 500, which tanked off. I mean, just like we've been saying, these tech stocks have been holding up the market, and as we can see, the S&P tanks off, but Tesla's able to hold it. And on my watch list over here, I mean, even GLD fell today a lot. I had a very solid trend line drawn, and GLD ended up falling with the market, which is kind of crazy. Gold has been rising with the market, and gold's been falling with the market. So it's been kind of crazy to see that, along with TLT and bonds, also moving weirdly with the market. I mean, it's just one of those things that it doesn't happen very often, and everything's kind of like out of sync right now, but really it's really proving to have some really good day trade opportunities. I mean, the day trades have just been fantastic lately. I mean, we can see there's just tons of good moves on these nice stocks like SPCE even. I mean, this stock has been bouncing off this bottom trend line. I mean, it might go up, it might go down, but I mean, the good news is that this morning it bounced right off the trend line and popped up, so that could have been a good day trade there. I mean, we had a really good day trade this morning on and the day trade we did was GLD. And GLD was just an amazing day trade. I mean, like I said, it fell right off of this trend line this morning, and that's exactly what I expected it to do. And some people played it whenever it broke the trend line, and that was fantastic, but then it even continued lower, which was even better. So really, GLD was just a good play overall. I mean, some people are asking me if they should, get in whenever it was bouncing off this 500 SMA, but, I told them I didn't think it would be a good idea considering how much they fell. And I mean, really, if they would have gotten some calls there to try to ride that back up, it might have worked out for like about 30 minutes to a couple hours. But at the end of the day, I mean, really, GLD just ended up tanking with that Fed news, and it just like the whole market did overall. And I mean, we can just see tons of different stocks here, like CME even tanking, SPY, of course. How did the bank stocks do today? Like Bank of America, I mean, they even tanked it to the end of the day. Wells Fargo was kind of, more flat. So, I mean, it's interesting to see some of these stocks, kind of being flat, like Tesla, some of the bank stocks even. But the S&P 500 and the indexes themselves actually, got hit pretty hard. I mean, we can see even V, which is Visa. I mean, they had a nice green day, but then ended up tanking off because, of the market at the end of the day. And they did end up, kind of consolidating on the support line I've had. But it's just the overall sentiment is that stocks were doing pretty well, and then now the Fed came out with this news and it pretty much crashed the market. So I think a big factor going into tomorrow is going to be what S&P 500 futures, which is /ES, look like overnight, and Dow futures, which is /YM. I think that that's going to be very important for the market. I mean, we can see that the Dow is bouncing right off of the 1000 SMA right now. So, I mean, I could easily see the Dow, potentially the S&P 500 going up overnight tonight slightly, and then maybe falling whenever the market opens tomorrow. But I'd really like to see the S&P 500 maybe pop back down to like 3360 or 336, I believe, on the SPY. That would be a nice number to hit, would be 336, or even 335 would be even better. So I mean, really, the S&P 500 and the Dow are going to be the main factors for me in the market tomorrow, just based off of this Fed news. And now for our member of the day, it's going to be Jaybird 325. I'd like to thank you for all the support and all the help you give out in the Discord chat and the Discord community. So thank you, Jaybird 325. We give a member of the day every day to one of the Discord members that actually stand out. And thank you, Jaybird 325, for all of your continued support and help in the Discord. All right, so moving into the momentum plays for today, the first momentum play we have is going to be Target. Just like I said in the beginning of the video, Target had a great day today. based off of their earnings. It was fantastic, and they formed a great wedge at the top today, and they're actually heading higher in after hours. So really, I mean, if they head above $156 tomorrow, I think that they could be a solid day trade to the upside. Just like we saw this morning, they could have some potentially big green candles, in pre-market or even whenever market opens. And if they do, that's what you're going to want to ride, is that type of momentum to the upside. If they do open, for example, and they open lower than, let's just say, like 154, and you see some red candles, it might be smarter then to maybe sit out on target. And that's the whole point of these momentum plays. Just get in if they break the level posted. So if they go above 156, target would be good, to buy calls to the upside. And the next one is going to actually be Disney, which looks like it has a little bit some small green candles in after hours today, but really they ended up tanking at the end of the day with the market, and just Disney looks like it could end up falling off the board, potentially maybe down to like 124 or 125. But if they do break 127.43, so $127.43, if they break that, it would be a good idea to buy Disney puts to the downside. And the next play would be Gilead, Gild. This one looks really good to the downside. They had some bad news come out yesterday, and they ended up tanking, in after hours, which was crazy to see. And then in pre-market this morning, they kind of popped back up. So really, I mean, we're going to be looking at Gild to the downside or potentially the upside here. And the last momentum play is actually going to be Gilead. And Gilead had some bad news come out that made them fall to the downside. And this is really going to cause, them to have some negative momentum. And if they do end up falling below, $64 or $63.98, Gilead's going to be a great play to the downside. And really, I mean, Gilead is just one of those stocks that has moved very crazy lately, and it looks like that they just, they're almost nearing lows down here. You can just see how low that they've went. Look at how volatile Gilead was, and now it just looks like they're just falling off the board. They finally fell below this 100 SMA, and now they're just, tanking off the table. And really, I mean, this is just bad to see out of a stock like Gilead. And I think that you could see, a lot of these coronavirus stocks that pumped up based off of vaccine news, and then they're actually not getting, a lot of traction with their vaccine, might actually, follow in Gilead's footsteps and start tanking like this. And for today's unusual options activity, we actually have Tesla, 2,000 calls. And guys, this is an insane, unusual option that's going to expire on 8/21, which is this Friday. Somebody put $55 million into the Tesla $2,000 calls that expire this Friday, August 21st. And this is an insane trade. I mean, Tesla is kind of in a little bit of like a wedge formation slash, triangle right now. And this is going to be a big trade. I mean, I've never seen a $55 million trade that expires in 2 days. This is insane to hear. I mean, if Tesla, I would have to assume that these guys are going to be shorting these calls, and they're going to want Tesla to close below $2,000 on Friday. And I mean, I think that this could be a very smart play. I know a lot of people have been talking about trading, credit spreads on Tesla with it being up so high right now, and that could definitely be a very good option if you're going to do it, is to trade some credit spreads on Tesla and really get into that maybe that resistance at $2,000. But it's just one of those risky trades that really, and if we see Tesla pop up tomorrow morning, I mean, I might then assume that these guys went ahead and longed these calls, but really I'm going to assume with $55 million on the line that they are shorting these Tesla calls, heading into the split, which is going to be on August 31st. And I mean, I know that their expiration doesn't go out to the 31st, but obviously they're trading off of that split momentum. And I think that if Tesla does pop tomorrow and it gets close to $2,000, I will just go ahead and think then that they long these calls. And I think a play right now on Tesla will be pretty hard to get into. It will require quite a bit of capital. But I do like Tesla. If it does end up going up tomorrow, then these guys might know something, and Tesla might be a good option to play tomorrow if it does end up moving one way or the other. But really, I would just look at this wedge, and if it breaks down below, then they're probably shorting those calls, and if it breaks up above, then they're probably longing the calls. But that's just a crazy play to have $55 million into Tesla. All right, now I'm going to get into the comments from the previous YouTube video. And to start off, Rides asks, hey, new to the channel, very informative, thanks, and keep it up. What do you guys think about Sunrun? RUN. And are you investing in any green energy for the long term? And if so, with who? Really, I mean, RUN. Yeah, it looks like a great stock to the upside. I mean, really, I like green companies and green energy and all that stuff, but it's just one of those things that's hard to kind of find some publicly traded companies that do that. I mean, I know Sunrun does. Tesla is kind of another. That's probably the most popular. Green. Green promoting company that you can get with electric cars, reducing carbon and all that stuff. But really, I mean, Tesla's great. They have solar panels and all that stuff too. So Tesla has multiple ways that they are actually helping the environment. But really, with any type of environment stocks, I'm not into it too much. But it's something that I think that those stocks are really poised to go up over the long term for sure. I mean, it's one of those things that I think people are really going to start implementing solar energy and stuff like that in the future going forward. And really, I think that that's going to be the way to go. And I think a lot of those companies are going to boom and go up, and you're going to see a lot of new companies even come into the market. That do a lot of green energy deals, or stuff with solar panels, or anything really that helps the environment in any way. And we have Psalm 91 saying, stocked up gang, cannot wait for the bonus. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're going to have that new bonus coming out soon, guys. I mean, that's going to be awesome for the stat modeling members. So, if you want to get it, just sign up for stat modeling in the link down below. The bonus is going to be awesome, guys. Just, be in Discord whenever it's released. We'll let everybody know exactly what's going on and how to use it. And we'll even have, videos showing you how to use it already made and ready to go for you. And then with the next comment, we have Janita saying, hey, what do you think about the stock PM? I've been trying to swing this for a few days now. So Philip Morris, I believe, is what PM is. Yep. Philip Morris. This stock, really, I mean, it looks like a pretty hard stock to swing. But really, I mean, it looks like a stock that it might start going up tomorrow if we can stay above this 100 SMA. I believe Philip Morris could be a good stock to the upside over the next couple days. But, on a daily chart, Philip Morris has not been looking too hot over the past 5 years. You can see that they've really, fallen down. And I mean, I believe that this is a cigarette company. And I mean, really, I know people have been trying to, hurt that industry in a way. Especially, e-cigs have hurt that industry a little bit as well. But with the virus going on, I mean, it seems like they haven't gotten hurt too much. They did fall, a little bit, and then they kind of recovered back. But they're definitely off of their highs, of like $86 to $94 of the past couple years. So I could definitely see Philip Morris going up, but I would definitely be careful of them going down to the downside as well. It's just one of those stocks that I personally would not play this one. I don't think it has too good of a setup right now on a 15-minute chart, other than it's touching the 100 SMA. So maybe if we could get a bounce off of that to the upside, I could maybe see some calls tomorrow, as long as we see the stock maybe break 72.23. Then you might get a rise up to like 70 or 78.20 79.23. Sorry, you might be able to get a rise up to 79.60ish or something like that. And the next comment, we have Hunter saying, awesome vid. Thinkorswim owes me a band-aid for my broken heart the past 2 days. Hopefully it's all set though now. Yeah, I know. I know, right, Hunter? I mean, this has just been crazy, guys. I mean, Thinkorswim, which is the platform that I use here, I mean, in the morning, every morning, it's not able to bring up charts. Like, you'll click on a stock and, just normally bring up the charts, or you can search up here and type in, SPY. And as anybody who follows the channel and uses Thinkorswim knows, over the past couple days, it's just been lagging out in the mornings and at close, and it's really been hurting a lot of traders. But the good news is that the mobile app has been working. So I've been using the mobile app, but it's really annoying to see a billion-dollar company like TD Ameritrade have problems on their app 3 days in a row. So I'm actually looking at checking out Lightspeed Trading. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Lightspeed Trading. I know a couple of traders in the Discord have been talking about it, but I mean, I really think Lightspeed Trading might be the way to go if you do have $25,000 in your account, because Lightspeed does have a $25,000 account minimum. But other than that, I mean, they're a pretty good broker with fairly cheap commissions, especially if you just do options alone. It could be great for that, and they have a great entry and exit, or order executions, I should say, very quick executions, one of the quickest in the game, and that's why a lot of professional traders use them actually. And now we have No Flair says, I watch this nightly like it's church. You guys rock. How would you allocate $10,000 the smartest if the goal was for optimal growth? like what percentage into daily moves and swing trades versus how much in value stocks and etc. No flare, that's a really good question. I'm sure that we have a ton of traders with that same question, asking, if I have a certain amount of money, like let's just say $10,000, how would I put that into certain stocks and then, keep some set aside for quicker day trades and stuff like that. So what I would do, no flare, is that I would actually probably, I would actually get a cash account with that $10,000 on probably TD Ameritrade. And, I would think that I personally like to keep about 70% of my account at least in value stocks. So value stocks could be like Coca-Cola, AT&T, AT&T even, Intel, which is INTC. I mean that they're a tech stock, but they definitely had a big gap down lately on some bad earnings, and I think that they could go up a lot in the future as well. Really, I mean, there's more tech stocks if you want to get higher growth, like Apple, that's going to split, of course. That might not be the smartest thing to get, but there's going to be a ton of stocks that are poised to go up, at least over the long term, and that's good news. So that's why I like to throw at least 70% of my portfolio into those longer term stocks. Maybe get some shares of bank stocks, like maybe throw a couple thousand into Bank of America, a couple thousand into Coca-Cola, a couple thousand into Boeing. Boeing, could be a prime example right now. Boeing is very low for the price that it was in the past, and really, I mean, if Boeing goes up long term, that would be a fantastic gain. On a couple $1,000s, you can make a couple $1,000 gain, 100% gain potentially over the next few years if Boeing does end up coming back to like 360 plus, which since they make fighter jets and they do have military contracts, I don't expect Boeing to just fall off the board and go bankrupt anytime soon, even though they did have bad earnings. I mean, you could see they had worse earnings even before the coronavirus happened. So and that was because of their 737 max jet problem. But other than that, I mean, I think that Boeing could be a really good play for the long term. But really, it's just I would keep about 70% into those stocks, and like I said, make a cash account, because then you won't be limited to the pattern day trading rule. It's because anybody who has under $25,000 cannot make more than 3 day trades within a 5-day trading span. So every time you make a day trade, you have to wait 5 days for that one pretty much to become unlocked again. So if you make 3 on one day, then you have to wait 5 days for all 3 of those to come back and be unlocked into your account again. So it's like every week you get about 3 day trades, and that's really what a lot of traders who trade under $25,000 do, is that then they'll get a cash account because you don't have to live by those rules. But the thing is that if you're trading higher priced options, you might run out of cash in your cash account. So if you're trading with $3,000, if you have $7,000 put away into long-term stocks and then $3,000 of cash sitting in your account, you can trade a few $100s worth of options, as much as you want, as long as that money keeps coming back into your account after the cash settles, after I believe it's 3 business days. So a cash account would definitely be the way to go there. And that's a really good question you ask, because I think a lot of beginning traders especially have that same exact question. But yeah, I would go 70% into longer term value stocks, if not even 80% of your portfolio, and then keep about 20 to 30% available for the quicker shorter term trades. And like I said in the beginning of the video, we're getting really close to 25,000 subscribers. And I'd like to thank all of you guys for all the continued support and all the comments you put down in the bottom. I know that really helps us out for the YouTube algorithm. We've been getting tons of likes on the YouTube video, like 500 plus likes. And I just really appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, I just can't say, how much we appreciate that. But really, I mean, the market's just looking crazy overall. It ended up tanking today. Like I said, the S&P 500 futures are down right now pretty largely, and it looks like they might start to climb. Just like I said, they might start to climb up and then maybe fall off once the market opens tomorrow and more negative volume can actually get back into the market. But really, it's just going to be, is this Fed news going to affect the market tomorrow, or was it more of a, are we just going down off that news today, and then tomorrow, maybe some other catalyst will come out that will affect it? We don't quite know yet. But if the market does open up below, let's just say the S&P opens up below 3,365, I could definitely see the S&P in the market continuing to fall tomorrow pretty significantly, especially with how much these tech stocks have been up lately. But just thank you guys so much for all the continued support, and have a good one. and have a good one.